Hey guys, how are you all doing? I wanted to do this very quick video because I noticed a lot has been going around about Prophet Shepherd Bushiri. He was recently arrested again together with his wife and 3 other accomplices, and they are meant to spend the weekend in jail. They have actually applied for bail and the hearings are ongoing. But what a lot of people are not even mentioning is the background of this man, you know, how he became who he is today, his humble beginnings, and all of the scandals that have surrounded him in the past. So let us start from the beginning. He, as we all know, is Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, but a lot of people do not even know that Shepherd is his name. You'd think the leader of sheep, but actually his mother named him Shepherd because of the complications surrounding his birth. Well, he comes from a very, very poor background. He's 37 years old, and he is the founder and general overseer of a church called the Enlightened Christian Gathering that is headquartered in South Africa. So he works in South Africa. He's a businessman, he's a preacher, a motivational speaker, he's an author, and above all, he is a businessman. He actually is originally from Malawi, but he migrated to South Africa after members of his church in Malawi kind of like saw through him and started to describe him as fake and a con man and someone who was interested in money more than even Christianity. So let us go back to the beginning. He is married to Mary. Mary is actually 2 years older than him, and she is an accountant, and she actually formerly held a senior managerial position for an international NGO. She also helps him run his ventures. They are actually global investors in mining, real estate, airline, hospitality, transportation. So they are really, really into business. He is very wealthy. He is one of Africa's wealthiest pastors and one of the most influential people in the continent of Africa. And as we speak, his net worth is estimated to be over $150 million. So he is really, really wealthy. All right, so let us zoom a little into the controversies that have surrounded him in recent years. The first one that I'm going to even dive into is the fact that he made claims of curing HIV. And that is also the reason that he was temporarily banned from entering Botswana, also because of his miracle money claims. And another controversy was the fees that people had to pay to have public dinners with him. You know, he would charge people allegedly for up to $1,000 for entry to his public dinners that he organized, although he has categorically refuted the claim. Another controversy or scandal has to do with the investment scheme that he started. We heard that in 2017, during a particular church service, he announced that he wanted to make members of his church millionaires and that he asked them to invest at least 100,000 South Africa rand, which is approximately $6,000, which they had to pay within the next 2 days, like I said. And he promised them that within 30 banking days, they would receive 50% return. And some of the people who actually paid the money from his church have come out to claim that up to this day, they have not received any penny back from him. Another scandal was the paternity issue that was raised in 2010 when it was alleged that Prophet Bushiri impregnated a teenage Malawian girl whose family have come out to claim that the prophet bribed her with a check for 800,000 Malawian kwacha, which is about 1,500 South African rand, to have an abortion. And the prophet also came out to say that no, the check was actually stolen from me. To be honest, how does one even steal a check from a pastor? This is not just a local backyard pastor. This is a major pastor. I actually forgot to mention that his nickname is Major One. He is a major pastor that you don't have riffraffs around you. You have your close, intimate team that you work together with one-on-one that have been part part of your inner circle for so many years. So how can a check be stolen from you from the same people that you have direct contact with? So personally, I do not believe the claim that a check was stolen from him. So even if the check was stolen, how did the check end up with a teenager, a teenage pregnant girl? So eventually she went to cash the check, and guess what happened? The check bounced. So at the end of the day, she gave birth to a baby girl because she couldn't have an abortion. So she gave birth in 2011, and her family has since requested Bushiri to come forward for a DNA test, for a paternity test, and up to this day, he or his legal counsel have not responded to that call. Apart from this paternity scandal, there have also been other infidelity cases that have been raised. For example, in February of this year, 2020, former Deputy Finance Minister of Zimbabwe actually came out to claim that Bushiri had adulterous affair with his wife, who happens to be a musician. Her name is Rachel J, by the way. He also claims that he has WhatsApp evidence where both his wife and Bushiri were making appointments to go have sex romps. Bushiri has denied the allegations, and he has also engaged his lawyers to seek legal recourse. And the woman in question that is being accused of cheating with Bushiri has also made a public statement via her family stating that she is no longer related, or she is no longer married or in a relationship with the former deputy minister, although he still lives in her home and she takes care of him together with his 10 other children. So this is kind of like a baby mama situation. She also said that some of the evidence that her estranged husband has shows that she met with Bushiri in 2018 and she is pregnant in 2020. Well, she gave birth actually a couple of months back, I believe in March. And she's like, how is it possible for someone to be pregnant for 2 years? Well, madam, I am not saying that, or I'm not accusing you, but your argument right now does not even hold water. So the fact that evidence shows that you were supposed to meet Bushiri in 2018 does not necessarily mean that you actually met him in 2018. You could have met with him in 2019. Nobody knows. Nobody knows when you lay with who. Nobody knows how, you even conceived. Do you understand? So another huge scandal that really shook the nation was the death of some of his congregation. This man really has a huge congregation behind him. He started his church actually in Malawi with just 35 congregants in 2012. And by 2015, the numbers had risen to 15,000 registered members. We are not even talking about people that just attend the church without being registered. So after Malawians started to notice his craft and kind of like started to call him by what they think he is, calling him a con man, saying that he's fake, things were not really going very well. He wasn't really growing as a church. He was met with so many obstacles, and then he decided to migrate to South Africa. And when he got to South Africa, his church actually started to grow way faster than he even envisioned. And currently his church has over 700,000 registered members. So that really shows us that whenever he's having service, that his church is always jam-packed, and sometimes there are incidences or accidents of stampedes, and during those stampedes people actually die and so many people get injured. And because of that, there were nationwide protests at the time calling for him to be deported back to Malawi from South Africa. Another reason a lot of people believe that Bushiri is a fake is the fact that he actually does his business within his church. For example, he just launched an online worship service, I believe during the pandemic when people couldn't really go to church, or some people chose not to go to church, and congregations had to pay a monthly subscription fee of about 80 South African rand. Another thing that he really does that is money oriented is selling so-called faith products and other merchandise to his members. For example, he would sell miracle oil, he would sell calendars, he would sell wristbands, towels, t-shirts, caps, and all of these items actually carry his face on them. He would sell these items to poor people in his church. This man is wealthy. He has a fleet of luxurious cars. He has 4 private jets. This man is wealthy, but he would sell all these tiny little items to his poor church members, to his people that are actually very desperate to have their lives changed for the better. And like I said already in the middle of this video, these people are so delusional, like they are so blinded by religion and prosperity gospel. And the terrible thing about this is that these people go to church, they go to his church year in, year out, and their situation never improves. Some of these people, from my personal experience, not even under his church, but other wealthy churches as well, they do not even have enough money for transportation to go to church. They do not even have enough money for breakfast before going to church. But when they get to church, they will be brainwashed into dropping whatever seed, whatever little penny that they have. They would have to drop it, give it again to that millionaire, billionaire pastor of theirs. So this is really sad. It is really sickening. Some of them even sow the seed of maybe their children's school fees. They would give it to the church in faith, hoping and believing that when they do so, God is going to reward them with something bigger, and nothing comes, and they're just hoping and believing. And these pastors, these prosperity preachers are really making them believe that, you know, their lives will change as long as they give. So they believe that, or they are trying to make their members believe that once you give, the more you give to God, the more you're going to receive. So to just cut the entire long story short, I just want to let you people know that this story is way deeper than it is at the moment. What we are now gathering is that, as we know, Bushiri and his wife and other accomplices have been arrested for theft, for fraud, and for money laundering. They have to actually spend the entire weekend in jail because the hearings for their bail application has been adjourned till Monday. And what is going to happen on Monday is not really the decision making process. Like, the judge is not going to decide on whether or not bail is going to be granted. What is going to happen on Monday is that they are going to continue the proceedings of bail. Like, his defense counsel will come forward and present reasons why they feel they should be granted bail. The wife, for example, Mary, she has 2 young kids at home, and she might actually be granted bail looking at all the facts on ground. But Bushiri, on the other hand, his case is a little more tight and a little more difficult because he is viewed as a flight risk. They say that he has attempted to flee on several occasions. He owns 3 passports, and he also has a diplomatic Malawian passport at the moment, although he has had to submit his passport to the authorities. So all of this just actually go a long way in showing that Africans, most Africans, although they are very religious, but they are also very easy to be brainwashed, and they are so gullible that they can allow another carnal man like them, another human being. They have really elevated him to that position of semi-God, to do whatever he tells them to do, whatever he instructs them to do, whatever he tells them could lead them to salvation, that could lead them to their place of prosperity. They are ready to do it. So I'm not even going to 100% blame the prophet for this. I am also going to put some of the blame on the church members who actually follow through with whatever instructions he gives them. So I really don't know how this whole case is going to end, but I already foresee that it's not going to end very well for Bushiri. Although he has a very huge following and a lot of people who are still standing in solidarity with him and his family, who have really come out to say that their general overseer, their daddy, like they favorably call him is innocent and that these forces are just trying to, it's just the devil doing his thing. But we are still keeping an eye on the whole situation. I am still going to come with another video after Monday to tell you what happened in court. So if you want to watch all of these updates, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also like this video, share it if you want, and I will catch you on my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.